I'm going to teach you how to make chicken biryani. My name is Sharmini and I'm using all Steenbergs products for cooking our delicious curry. To that we are adding a bit of salt. I'm going to add a bit of salt because the salt gives the flavor to your biryani, so we do need a bit more of salt, but don't worry. To that we are going to add a few spices, whole spices, which is cardamom, cloves, cassia bark and bay leaf. While this is bubbling away, I'm going to dry roast all the spices which we are going to use for making the biryani. So a couple of peppercorns. The recipe will be provided, so don't worry about it. A bit of black cardamom. Black cardamom has a very smoky flavor. So that's why I'm going to use only half the cardamom. Most of the time black cardamom you see will be used in more of North Indian cooking, and then I'm adding in some cardamoms, which is the queen of all spices, and some cloves. I've just put in some poppy seeds and a whole piece of cassia bark. You can use cinnamon stick for this because I'm going to put in a bit of cinnamon stick. The reason I use cinnamon stick instead of cassia bark is because it is easy to powder, because we are going to make a nice little paste with all these spices. You're just dry roasting it. As you dry roast it, you can get the flavors. Now can you see the state of the rice, how it has become? It's become long and it's easy to break. Yeah. See, you can break it so easily. So the rice is done. I'm going to put around a tablespoon of ghee. If you don't have ghee, you can use butter instead. I'm just melting it down. Now what you do is, I'm going to fry some raisins and cashew. Cashews, you just split it into half. This gives the rich flavor. Biryanis are usually eaten during festive season or weddings. That's why it's a very, very rich dish. And whilst I'm getting that done, now to check if the oil is hot, just put your hand over it and you can feel the heat. It's not that hot yet. Now you have to be very careful when you are cooking, dry roasting the nuts, because it turns brown very, very fast. So when it becomes light brown, you remove it, because while it sits and cools down, it becomes darker in shade. It absorbs the oil and it bubbles up. But of course, once you take it away, it'll come back to the same size, but it'll taste different. It's really, really tasty. So this is done. Now I'm going to use the same oil to make the curry. Now give it a good stir and do it on medium heat till it becomes sort of golden brown. Add a bit of salt to it because the salt will draw the liquid from the onion, so it helps it cook faster. And the amount of garlic you will be using is the same as the ginger. So it could be 2 pieces, it could be 3 cloves of garlic. Now the onions have become soft. I'm just making it a bit golden brown in color. So it is sort of, you will get a caramelized taste. A little bit of oil, ghee or oil, whatever you have put in the pot, it sort of separates from the onions. That's the stage when you know you can put in the next set of ingredients. Very, very little of ghee. But the whole onions sort of come together as a lump. At this stage, I'm going to add the ginger, garlic and chilies. Again, one of the most important things you do in cooking is using the sense of smell. This is the only occupation where you're using all the 5 senses, and the smell is the most important one as far as I'm concerned. So now you can get the smell, the raw smell of the ingredients I've just put in. That is the garlic, chili and ginger. Now we have to cook it till the raw smell disappears and the cooked aroma comes in. Now because we have put in salt earlier, the ginger and garlic will not stick to the bottom of the pan. Now can you get the fried aroma? It makes such a difference, isn't it, from the raw? And this is the stage how it should look now. So the spices which we had roasted, I'm now going to grind it. So it's cooled down, so it's going into the grinder. And we are adding this to the mix which is in the pot and give it a good stir. Now you can get the flavor of all the spices now added to this. I'm adding a little bit of Steenbergs ground nutmeg too. Now to this I'm going to add the chicken pieces. Now I've used the thigh of chicken because I feel the flavor comes out more when there's a bone in the chicken, more than breast. So if you can see, this is the chicken which we are going to use, and I have made some slits on the chicken pieces, chicken thighs, so that the flavor of the curry, the masalas which we use, which means the spices, will get into the chicken pieces. So I'm adding that to the fried ingredients. Give it a good stir. And we are waiting for the chicken pieces to turn white in color so that it gets sealed, and then we'll cover and let it cook down for another half an hour. Biryani tastes lovely with mint and coriander leaves. I'm just going on stirring. Can you see it's now turned white in color? About a tablespoon of yogurt. If you don't have a grinder, just chop it as fine as you can and add it to the yogurt. Lovely green shade you can see. Can you see? The oil has started floating on top. That symbolizes that the curry is done. So now I'm just going to raise the flame and thicken the curry. And Indian cooking, the main thing is any curry, it tastes better the second day because all the spices and flavors get into the meat. Saffron has been soaked in milk, so it brings out the flavor of the saffron. I've taken some lemon juice, squeeze some lime. Okay, the last thing we're going to add in is the rose water from Steenbergs. That's really so flavorsome. If you smell it, you can get that beautiful smell of rose. So this is the base of the biryani. You can use lamb. Lamb is very tasty, but it takes longer to cook. So today we are using chicken. The last part of our biryani we are going to do is layering the biryani in a casserole. So I'm using 2 different casseroles. I'm adding a little bit of ghee at the bottom, and we're putting it at the bottom of each casserole. I know we are using quite a bit of butter and ghee for this dish, but that is the flavor of biryanis. That's why we don't have it very often, only for festive season or weddings. You can remove all your spices which you have added in the rice, and if you do see it in your curry, please remove them. Don't bite into them because some of you would not like the taste of it. We're putting about 2. Okay, so can you see the rice, how loose it is? It is just falling into. I'm putting some coriander leaves. And what I'm going to do is just give a little space with the, can you see with that? I'm just making a little hole there, adding a bit of saffron, a bit of lemon juice, and of course the rose water. And we're just adding a little bit in the little holes we had made. We're putting some cashew over it, the layer, and then some raisins. And some fried onions. Now it's become chicken pieces in. And don't forget to put a bit of your gravy in too. And now we are going to layer it again. So you're sort of covering the chicken pieces. Just removing the glue. And again, just create some holes in the add a bit of saffron. So the saffron will give the yellow color to the biryani, and again the cashew and raisin. So now I'm going to add a bit of rose water again. So it will be such a flavorsome dish. Yeah, we love caramelized onions. put in some more raisins and cashews for garnishing. So doesn't it look like such a beautiful dish, so rich and colorful. So we're going to bake it for 10 to 15 minutes and you all can have. So now we're just going to cover this casserole with tin foil.